Welcome to the CueSports International Expo, being hosted at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. This is the $100,000 added Predator World 10-Ball Championship, presented by CueSports International and sponsored by Predator. This is the only WPA-sanctioned World Championship in America. We are in the second stage of this tournament. Now a race to 10 and single elimination for the final 16 players. We've just played. This is a quarterfinal to get us into the semifinals. And when you have Jeremy Jones and myself in the booth, George Teachat will bring you the live action. Two great contestants.
Two great players here, George. Jason Shaw and Aloysius YAPP. Aloysius from Singapore. Jason, who now resides in Connecticut, but from Scotland. And a little minor cleanup there on the table. The guys do get a rack or two to practice prior to the match.
And we'll break first.
George, who was so kind a match or two ago on the introduction, definitely want to recognize he's just been voted into the Arizona Billiard Hall of Fame. Congratulations, George, and I'm sure the induction will be later this year.
November 5th.
There you go. I knew you knew the date.
I helped plan it.
There you go. So it's got to be an honor. Well-deserved. George is just not our guy in the booth here. He's a player as well. And common theme, seems like one player is going to struggle on the break during a match for the most part.
We've seen it for 3 matches today, and we've seen it a little in the past week.
Absolutely. We had a couple days there at the end of the Vegas Diamond and the beginning of the Predator World 10 Ball that we felt like the table was coming around, really starting to be a little easier on the guys and balls going in. I think he has to go forward here and get a double kiss on the 2 maybe to hold for position. I think that's about all he has. Yeah, see, he tried to play the double kiss, but you know, when you're doing that, you never can totally predict it. If the 2-10 played, he would shoot that, I think.
He's going to go down behind the 6 ball.
Yeah, he tried to kill the cue ball. Notice how he didn't let up on it. That's the key to get that English to work right there on that thin hit.
It looks like he's got a nice one-rail kick at it. But that point from the side pocket is big. That's about where he has to hit to make this kick with this newer cloth.
I wouldn't blame him kicking between the 3-9 and having to put a hair English on this kick shot. I think that opens up the rail a little bit to where you have a bigger point to hit. Yeah.
Totally agree. It looks nice from there.
I think that's what he's doing now. And you always want to kick towards congestion. A lot of people say, well, why don't he kick between the, down low of the 6 ball here and back up on the 2? Well, you always want to kick where the cue ball and the object ball are going towards.
Look how nice
problems.
he hit that. This
He's not
could
gonna,
get no.
Not going to get any love for such a great hit.
Yeah, there was cover down there, cover to be had, but it had to be hit with speed.
Well, imagine he kicked between the 3-9 to the side rail, hit the 2, and never touched another ball with the 2 or the cue ball. Ooh, squeezed that one home, and that thick hit may have cost him position on the 3. I'm not sure. Is it a 3-10 combo, maybe?
Yeah, if he can't cut it, and I don't think he can, he's got to settle for that. Which means he's going to lose the 3 ball to behind one of those 4 balls, possibly, unless he hits it with a little bit of speed to guard against it.
I think he hits it with a lot of speed, to be honest with you. He may just ricochet the cue ball 1 rail into the 9. You can't roll this. Can't afford to just dead roll this, like George said. Gotta put, no, he played it. Oh, he held it up with a double kiss. Pretty crafty.
That is crafty, because we've seen that not go.
Right, and that's totally intended, and now it's the 10 got in the way. Oh, my.
Sure. Oh, he could bend this.
Yeah, I think
well,
so.
He can go rail first. It looks like he has room to go rail first.
He may need to do a bit of both. No, he's pretty level cue. Yeah, he's got this. He can hit ball first. Wow, he hit ball first right there. And may have gotten a little bit of a heavy cue ball doing it. Now, does he try to just creep below the 8 with some spin? Does he put a little more into it and get on the other side of the 6, coming below the 6 a couple rails?
I think he'll creep it down with a little bit of, just spin it down.
Just middle right ball.
Middle right ball, yeah.
He's playing for the gap.
Oh boy.
On the 8-10.
You know, one of the things I've noticed, this is the second time he's been in the arena on this TV table, and I'm beginning to wonder if that longer extension full time really steadies the cue. As I watch him cue and I watch a couple others that have played with it, it just looks to me like it really steadies that backhand down.
Well, that's been discussed before that it just has to, right? It has to make, the cue not want to go right or left as much, especially if you're not gripping it. So there is a bit of a point to that, for sure.
But yeah.
Ooh, speaking of points and
Oh
over
boy.
the 10. Wow.
Speaking of points, and wow. This is what I call a safety in disguise. I do. I kind of like playing this kind of safety and disguise it. It can beat your player up, the guy you're playing. All ball fouls. Yeah, it takes your accuracy away. I'd like to know, for every degree you elevate, just how much does it change your shot?
Well, just math, I guess, a bunch of numbers involved in that. But that's amazing. One ball on the table, we always talk about getting behind it, but then right there hitting the point, and there's no chance to get behind it, but it sure did get over to the top of that 10.
I mean, as bad as it could.
Yeah, so 2 lefties we have here now. Aloysius YAPP, top player from Singapore. Had a couple Singaporeans in the event.
1-0. And YAPP, junior champion, junior world champion. I think it was in 2014. I think he won his first junior title in 2014. John Lehman to rack the balls here. We are at the CueSports International Expo, where the BCA World Championships and the USA National Championships bring in approximately 6,000 players into about 300 tables in 3 different ballrooms here at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. And it makes for a great crowd for the pros to wander around in. You get to meet them in the elevator, and really makes them available to all the amateur players from around the world. I mean, example is David Arcadia from Spain. I've seen him here since he was like 18 or 19 years old when I come to these tournaments. And that's just one example. And now with the Expo bringing in so many players and pro tournaments, 2 of them, the Diamond Las Vegas and this Predator World 10 ball, it really brings in availability to the pros. Have them build a fan base. Shaw looks like he pocketed a ball on the break, has an opening shot on the 1. The 2 ball is not really available for the right upper corners, but it looks like he can
into him. I think I'm just looking at this. It doesn't go in by the 6 in the side.
Can he get back to where he is with the cue ball for the corner? He's too thin. Okay.
I think he's got to come into it. And the thing is, with the 6 there, you probably need to come into it a little mild. Now, the 2 does go if he wants to travel the cue ball, but I think he's got to take a little gamble into him here like that.
Just like that. And he's opening up nicely. And now from here, it looks good.
And you notice when he went into him, he didn't kill it. You know? I mean, them balls separate easily. That's one thing you can learn watching these top players. Doesn't take much when 2 balls are kind of together to make them separate. Now this he could have used a little more of. Not going to be so happy with this position shot. And he's going to have to.
Can he draw it around 3 rails?
Nah, I think
wants to. Okay.
he's so close to it, he pinches it towards the 5.
Playing in the side.
Yeah, pinches the cue ball towards the, towards the 7 for the 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know, as fast as this table is, there are advantages. Like right there, you can really change the angle when you're close to the cue ball with a little straight draw. This is going to slide on him, so he's going to get a missable ball here on the 6. So does he level out and go 3 rails? Does he elevate trying to hold the cue ball? Now this is one thing Jason's very good at. Where most would elevate, he's going to go around 3 rails. Like right here, for instance, you can pinch this ball easily. It's one of the things that really helps on this table. Well, okay, he's all right.
He's in good shape. Just watch how steady that backhand is with that cue in there. Tied at 1. And we're back with Aloysius YAPP, and he's been playing pool since he was 9 years old.
Yeah, I know Aloysius a little bit. We have a very good close mutual friend in Dallas, another Singaporean. Actually, he's out here playing in the amateurs, but he told me that he just happened to, get across it on the TV and then the YouTube and started to watch a little more of it. And he was like, man, I think I want to try this pool out. And went from there. And now he's in the quarterfinals of the Predator World 10-ball Championships. What is Aloysius now? 25, I think.
Aloysius is 26. Yeah, you're right
26,
there.
26, huh?
Shaw's 32 years of age. Scotland.
Push out full.
We have one other of the quarterfinal matches going on with Konrad Yushushin and Eklund Kachi, and they're tied at 2. Tomorrow you will have the semifinals between Johan Chua and Naoyuki Oi, and the winner of this match and the winner of the other quarterfinal going on right now. And then the final to follow. So we close this out tomorrow night for you folks. And every match is just a beauty. Doesn't get better. Best players in the world.
Did he get there? He's definitely maybe left the jump. The one's close at that point, though.
Extension jump.
Attention, please.
Now, if he does make it, cue ball should pop out a little bit for probably shape on. Yeah, that's a good view there. Very makeable one ball. Should pop out for shape like that. Now, the 4 is a little funny. Does he come one rail across? He can't really get hurt if he just comes one rail and bumps the 4 a little bit. 3's over the side. I don't think that. Ooh, the side's missing a 2. Didn't expect that at all.
Well, it's a big opening for YAPP. Aloysius to take full advantage of it, I'm sure.
And just wants to get clean with the cue ball here. Not sure which way he's going with this draw stroke. Oh, right between the 4 and the 10. That's a pretty sweet cue ball there. I'll tell you, the first time I watched Aloysius play, I was pretty impressed. Love his demeanor at the table. Love his fundamental technique.
Well, he's been working on it for a long time. And we'll probably just keep improving, I think. One of the things we talked about, left-hander, you got left-hander against left-hander in this match. Something I noticed because I happen to be left-handed. You always recognize your fellow left-handers. They've had the same struggles growing up in a right-hander world.
Jason. Get a little feeling of, he's a little favorite here, of course. Aloysius and everyone in the room probably tell you that, but just like Carlo was a little favorite over Oi, a few early mistakes can mount up, even though it may be towards the end till we see, them cost somebody like Jason or like it did with Carlo. Aloysius keeps it very simple, very subtle stroke through the ball, which is great, especially today's equipment.
His cue ball seems very controlled with the speed. I mean, on this 9 ball was just perfect.
Yeah, you're going to see him hit a few shots with speed, but for the most part, he has very good timing, so you get the most out of a little less effort in the swing, you might say. So really understands the cue ball at a young age. And now for a 2-1 lead.
Well, one of the things I've just noticed and kind of researched real quick while Jeremy was talking, and I was very quiet, is out of the Sweet 16 or the final 16, we had 4 players with a Fargo rating of under 800, and that was Omar Al Shaheen, Bader Ala Awadi, Gerson Boza at 758, Bader was 741, and Konrad Yushushin at 780. The rest of these gentlemen are in the 800 club. So 12 of the 16 players are in the 800 club, the other 4. And the one that really, I guess you might say, and I don't want to use the word surprising because at this speed anybody can run out, but Bader put Shane in the into the win-loss side, and that's a tough one. And he also led 3-0 to begin with in today's match. So just a little trivia.
Nothing down yet. And at the last moment, the 2 opened, the 1 opened, the 4 got away from the 7, so I wouldn't say ball in hand on the 1 here for Aloysius, but pretty darn good. Looks like to me he's got the perfect angle to draw the cue ball out to the center of the table. He's got a lot of room for the 2. Anytime that center of the table's open, man, it really gives you a lot of room to run the rack.
And before I get nailed on comments, I missed one. Christopher Teves Ocampo from Peru is a 746. So him and Bader had the lowest, and I think they did the most damage at the top. Although Conrad's still in this.
He's got to slow down a little bit. You've always got to slow down a little bit. Ooh, I think he's all right, but just barely.
It's going to be a double look barely.
Yeah, I see him just going to towel his hands. You'll see that from Aloysius, you know, during the run, almost always when he returns to the chair. Sweet draw stroke, though, you'll watch here.
With an open bridge.
Yeah, he's close to it.
Oh,
That's
there
why.
wasn't a
Oh,
big
he's a stun. Okay. Now that's the 6 past the 9. He hasn't looked at it very often, so I'm guessing it does.
Nice speed, very, very controlled. Cue ball in line and on line.
Goes around the 8-10 here. And that's what I mean as far as, you know, of course his fundamental sets up for that, which really helps his technique, but that coasting into position is huge. Doesn't lose tip position.
And he follows through right where he aims.
Oh yeah, that's
a lot
what
of the
I
guys
say.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice tip
where
position. Exactly.
He doesn't lose tip position. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. You know, a lot of guys they aim a little low to sight their tip position is maybe why, but and then come up a little bit. I think the best way, if you can, is keep it where you want it, and then don't make any change with the stroke.
Aim it where you're going to hit it. Exactly.
And he's close here. He can pull this up the left side rail with no problem. Just a hair past the side pocket, I'd say.
If I had ball in hand, I think I'd put it right about there. Maybe a little closer.
Now for a 2-game lead.
Aloysius started by beating Ian Costello, then had a loss to Kachi. Then on the one loss side, he defeated Tyler Steyer, Corey Dool, and Torsten Homan. And then a big win this morning over Oscar Dominguez. I called his dad out instead of him.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like this. Not wasting any time to change the break position. And he's made 2.
Successful change.
Yeah, and he didn't have to put a whole lot into that. It looked like to me he was really aiming to make the one inside at the speed he hit the rack. Okay, the 6 isn't too bad, the 4 hanging. So I don't think he has to like dig on the cue ball here. I think he can just hit a high ball. Now he's going to put a little low outside.
He's got quite a bit of room to get right back where he's at.
Yeah.
He's going to come underneath him so he doesn't have to worry about shooting that gap.
Yeah, now a little bit of a tricky shot with the 9 being there. I think he can play a little bit of a light rail first. Catching inside the 9 there. In between the 9-7 with the cue ball. That's the route I would like to go, even if I hit ball first, and just creep out between the 9-7 like that. That's the smart shot, right?
Nice shot, yeah. Very nice shot. Now he's in line. He just has to get on this 7 ball. Once on that 7, he can close it out because he stops it for the 8, stops it for the 9, and he's got the 10 ball. Right off the 9.
Well, I don't recall seeing Aloysius on this table this week.
That could be a thing. That could be a good thing.
A little heavy. Oops. He's going to get a little 50-ish here.
Now I've seen these guys shoot this shot. Several of them shot it. Have cut it and then gone up to the corner and come out of the corner.
He's playing this in the corner though, not the side.
Right, right.
Yeah.
He's just going across it just like this. He's in good shape. He's in good shape.
Yeah, a little long there on the 7, but early here he looks as comfortable as anybody we've seen with the speed of the table, right? Really just kind of smoothing the ball around.
Kind of why I said earlier he's in line and on line. Because the speed's been so good. He just floats right into position at the very end there. Last 2 rotations and he's almost like perfect. Shaw will be breaking when he comes back to the table.
Then you kind of feel like you better take advantage of all I can tell you, right?
Yeah. Shaw to break. Trailing 4-1. Shaw's trip to the quarterfinals came via Gerson Boza from Peru, Corey Dool, and then Eklund Kachi. And then this morning, or just a little bit ago, Shaw defeated Boza again. His opening match was Boza. Gerson. John racking the balls on this with that Predator rack. The cloth, Predator Arcadia Reserve cloth. The lights, Predator Arena lights. And this, the Predator World 10-Ball Championship being played on Predator Arco balls. Arcos II balls.
Great hit on the rack there, it looked like. I didn't hear anything down.
I don't see anything down there. Yeah. And the 5 ball is right in the middle of the cue ball and the 1, right between them.
Yeah, you can definitely roll out to a jump if you wanted. You could take the jump if you wanted.
Looks like that's what he's going to do. He has 60 seconds. They are on a 30-second shot clock. 60 seconds after the break, and a 30-second extension.
He doesn't want to draw this into the 3 and get snookered. He wants to get by the 3 with the cue ball, but really here, first things first, right? You got to make this. That's what this shot's all about, taking this on.
He's coming back with it. Trying to, well, didn't make it.
I wonder if the 2 passes the 6 here. May take on the bank if it does. Don't think so. Probably pushes. You got all kinds of safety options here, actually. But go ahead, George.
I'm looking right down the 2 ball and the 6, and the 6 ball is definitely in the way.
Okay, so maybe edges this ball, runs the cue ball. And does that so well. The snooker background really hitting those lines when you're running the ball.
One ball.
Well, being, you know, in the quarterfinals, this is one of his highest finishes other than junior.
Excuse me?
I believe this is one of Aloysius' highest finishes other than the junior.
Yeah, I was saying the other day he did play a match here actually. Yeah, that's right. It may have been the Vegas 10 ball, but I think he was a quarterfinalist in the U.S. Open in 2019. I know he made the final 16. Got to draw this a bit to get at the 1. Bend the cue ball a little. Oh, hit it sweet. Almost made it. He's going to love where the cue ball ends up here. And Jason with a little look to the pool gods, asking what the heck is going on here early. But I mean, that's just part of it. When you play, you know, and you got to play safe early in the rack, but early in the rack when there's 8, 9, 10 balls on the table, these guys hit the object ball and get away with it a lot. That's just part of it. He's going to give up a shot here. Surprised he didn't jump that. Instead of playing the heavy masse, that was around a full ball there. Looks like the 2 goes between the 8 and 10. So I don't think you overthink and go for the side here. Getting on the 3 is hard.
Just comes straight down for the 8. I mean, for the 2 ball between that 8 and 10.
Yeah, just got to hit it light, but that's okay. Should be good enough. Yeah, he can draw the ball easily.
Wants to give himself some room so he can get off the rail for the 4 once he shoots the 3. So don't land on the rail.
He's had it on the string so far.
Yes, he has, and he continues.
Yeah, he wants to get a little angle on the 4, but not too much to where he can pull the cue ball up the rail for the 5 in the lower right, or at least most likely. He could move the cue ball a lot off. Ooh, okay, he overcut it a little bit, so it cost him a little on the cue ball. First little flinch there that we've seen from Aloysius through the first 5.5 games. I was going to say he could come back for the 5 in the left side, but he's falling pretty straight. I think he might cheat this right here. Either that or draw between the 9 and 5. Yeah, he just cheated it a little bit. And that's a smart shot.
It is. I like that shot. I like that play very much.
Yeah, you're playing great, right? What's the odds that you missing this ball? And you can fall below for the 6 in the side or the 6 in the upper corner.
Well, see, this, you know, the way I look at it is, you know, for years all I've really played is 1 pocket. I would play to that position there all day long.
Right. Really got the cue ball out. Now he's going to have to make a nice shot in the corner, but positioned very natural. This is with a high follow-through stroke.
Yeah, exactly.
And the pocket's pretty big too. As long as you don't baby it too much, you put a little speed in there, it's going to swallow this 6-ball up, like right there, even if you catch some rail.
The only way to miss that is to go to the outside of it.
Outside, or really baby it, right? To where it may hit that point and kind of like that deep shelf on the diamond might make it stand up. But if you have a good follow through stroke, the pocket's pretty open.
Aloysius is coming in pretty strong on in this match. I mean, he's kept that cue ball on the string.
Well, there is no coincidence why he made this long journey. Just actually got here to Vegas about a week before the diamond. Couldn't get in the Texas State Open, so came here about a week early.
Aloysius YAPP to break the balls here. And we've got a treat for you. We have Shark Syed, who's also from Singapore, will be taking over for me and give you some insight about this hard-working young man.
Yeah, thanks, George. Shark, let him get his headset prepared, and now
for the kind introduction.
Yeah, no problem. I'll tell you, of course, this is your road partner right here. Long trip for y'all from Singapore, but you got to be impressed with your mate so far, huh?
Oh yeah, he's playing great. I knew he had a good chance in this tournament right before we even came here.
Yeah. Well, y'all arrived about a week before the...
We actually arrived about 2 weeks before.
Yeah, 2 weeks before to Vegas, right?
Yep.
Yep.
We're practicing at the pool hall, getting ready for the tournament.
Yeah, and Shark is now... Jason's had a couple misses, and so we talked about it in the last match with Carlo. Carlo came back to get a lead, but when you give up some early games, it can come back to haunt you. So, but Shark, no stranger to the U.S. He went to, a little history, he went to Lindenwood University, got his degree there, and also, of course, played for the university billiards team with Mark Wilson, all the great young players there.
Yep, that's right.
That was a great experience. I think you graduated about 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago.
That was 2017.
Oh, is it? Man, time flies, I'll tell you. Okay, pretty smart kick shot right here. I'm not sure he's going to get paid off for it, but I think it was a good play, though.
Definitely. Kicked it at good speed.
Yeah. And so, of course, you know him better than anybody in the room, at least. Anything you want to tell us about about Aloysius, excuse me?
Well, all I can say is he's a really hardworking person, and obviously deserves being here at this stage. He's put in his time, and he has taken his battle scars.
Right.
So it's good to see him here.
Yeah, and he's not only that, super nice guy. Love his demeanor, his attitude.
Yeah, he loves pool more than anybody.
Yeah, right. And I guess that's probably a pretty common thing in Singapore anyways, just because don't know a lot of people from Singapore, but all the ones I know are pretty great people.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely. Must be that 2-year service y'all have to do right after school, right? Get you.
Yep, right after we're done with
high school, yeah.
Or our tertiary education.
Right. All right, Shaw now trying to get back in form. He's played great in the tournament. Another one I thought that improved every day that I saw him play.
Yeah, he's playing really well too. I think Aloysius has just put some heat on him, but this is a good opportunity for him to get a game back.
Yeah, one thing I did like to see from Aloysius that I didn't see from some others is, he didn't waste much time before he changed his break position. He had 2, breaks that didn't work, so he went to the side rail, immediately broke and ran a rack there, making a few balls. So you played in both events, and you can't be stubborn, right? I mean, you got to change position if it's not working.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've talked about this. And he did mention that if it doesn't work, he's going to switch sides or switch up the break.
Yeah, the speed or something, yeah. Ooh. Oh, my.
I think this might be the 3rd or 4th error for him.
Yeah, 3rd at least that I remember.
Yeah.
Thin cut here for Aloysius, but one he's going to take on. Some guys would look at this like maybe rail first with a lot of spin, but I really like the top players just to chop this ball in.
Yeah. I think he's going to just cut it in.
Yeah, this is one we work on a little bit with the guys that, really get the cue ball revolving. That really helps this ball cut a lot easier.
He's pretty good at this shot, so I expect him to make it.
Oh, sweet. And I'll tell you what, he recognized the speed was funny, meaning if he tries to go up and down, to get for the 9 in the side, good chance he misses the 8. So he put the emphasis on pocketing the 8 and see what he gets on the 9. And I'll tell you what, could get real one-sided quickly.
Yeah. I feel like Jason might have shot the 8 ball a little too quick.
Yeah, and it's Jason's not one that you would say has too much of a weakness in any area, but the ball pocketing is definitely one you would think is a strength.
Yeah, and that has let him down so far in this match. Kind of surprising.
Looks like we have, of course, Kachi now, after trailing 2-0 in that match, has come back to get a 5-2 lead against Conrad Jusician. It's a tough one for me. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, Kachi's playing great this tournament too. In the Diamond Las Vegas Open, he actually knocked me and Aloysius both on the loser side.
Oh, wow. Kachi did? Or
Actually,
Conrad, you mean?
It was the World 10 ball, sorry.
Okay.
Kachi did.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he was here for the Vegas Diamond.
Yeah.
He couldn't arrive until the Predator, a day before, I think.
Yeah, it was the World 10 ball. Yeah, I was his first round opponent.
Right.
He's playing pretty well.
Yeah, he's another one that looks like he's gotten better every day. And, he maybe more than any of the top guys has been away from the sport. His country has really been tough on the travel. Right. Didn't get to go to the World Championships, I believe. I'm not sure he made the Whirlpool Masters even. Had some cancellations. So you saw that gesture with the hand up in the air, a dry break. And, you don't want to say like you get punished for your mistakes, but you kind of really do, right?
Yeah. think Aloysius is pretty excited for this match, and it's going the way he would have expected. He would have liked, I would say.
Yeah, you kind of stay away from top inside here on the slick table, but I think that may be what he has to do. Now he's cueing downward. He's trying to come subtle out of the corner. 2 rails.
Yeah, looks like it.
Real light out of the corner. Trying not to hit the 3. Man, tell you what, we talked about it earlier. He may have the cue ball, more on a string than anyone else we've seen on this table. Carlo, who has won a lot of matches on this table before losing earlier, he comes with them shots and moves the cue ball, but he was out of line a lot, and had to keep coming with shots where Aloysius, once he's gotten that first shot to get in line, he stayed in line.
Yep.
Which you know him real well. You got to believe that's one of his strengths anyways, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he has an all-around game. He's good at kicking, good at banking, and I've played him so many times back home in Singapore, so I just know what to expect.
Well, and that's the shot that I wanted to see, that I wanted to tell George about. As I was going to say, he can power up when he needs to as well.
Definitely.
Like right there was hardly any angle, and he stunned that ball, a good 5 feet, 1.5 feet to the rail, and then another 3 feet or so out.
I guess it's a good sign when a player doesn't have to power up too much. It means they're always
right.
in line.
Right, right. Yeah, it was the Carlo match that we commented, sometimes you have those days to where you're just out of line a little bit. It seems like all day, and you got to keep pocketing balls more than play great position.
Yep, that's what I experienced.
Well, the tables were pretty slick, so if you got to question yourself a little bit, it could get tough, So.
Right.
But now he's perfect. He chips this in, uses the thin head on the 5 to move the cue ball 3 rails towards the 6. It's just a little angle to get across. Oh, that's pretty good.
He's managing the situation really well. Very calm, looks pretty calm.
Well, just everything he's done so far, too, really has made sense. That's a good sign. Thinking well and executing well. Now, both of y'all played in both events here. I'm sure y'all are both going to go on to play at the U.S. Open.
Yes, we are. We also have another countryman, Tulian Han, with us.
That's
so
right.
It's going to be the 3 of us.
That's right.
We're going to the U.S. Open.
Now, he only got to play in the Vegas here, right? He didn't
yeah.
get to play in the Predator World 10 ball, I don't think, anyways.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. As one-sided as we've seen, about to be 7-1.
Yeah, Aloysius was telling me earlier before the match that
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the quarterfinal of the Predator World 10-ball Championships. The winner will go on to the Final Four. That'll be tomorrow. We're at the CueSports International Expo. All kinds of championships going on around the arena. This is the Pro Division. I'm Jeremy Jones with a special guest, Shark Syed of Singapore, sweating his countrymen. And he took a lot of speed off of that one. Oh, he's made a ball. And he can see the one. These are usually cuttable for these top players. You know, if that ball gets up, you know, that's a half a diamond up off that top rail. That's usually a ball that these guys can cut in. Not easy, though.
I think he's going to go for this one, though.
I think so. You got to turn the cue ball loose, but the 2 is pretty open. You know, as long as he avoids a scratch, you don't figure him to get snookered because the cue ball is going to have a lot of speed, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't like spinning this. I like just straight high, I think.
Yeah. I think just focus on making the ball and let the cue ball come off 2 or maybe 3 or maybe 4 cushions.
Yeah, it looks like to me he might catch the 9 off a couple cushions, maybe. I doubt it, but. Yeah, he'll take that, even though no hanger being elevated on this 2 ball.
I was saying earlier that Aloysius was looking forward to playing this match because he's played Jason Shaw twice before. Once in the China Open and once in, I think, Kuwait Open, and he lost both times.
Oh, wow.
So he's looking to avenge his loss.
Sure. Yeah, you know, and this where if his nerves are in check, that real clean delivery he has really helps. He doesn't have to hit the ball very hard to pinch it back a little bit, and the pocket becomes a little bigger. Yeah, just like that.
Struck in great.
Well, this young man is not letting up, I'll tell you. Okay, I stay away from inside here. I'd rather go with a hair of outside English, just to come 1 rail back.
Yeah, I agree with that. Can certainly see the confidence in Aloysius' body language.
And the one thing I've seen that no shot clock problems. You know, he's going with his gut instinct. You know, of course, he's looking at something, finding a decision, but not really questioning it too much.
Yeah. I think this was probably part of his preparation for the match. He knew there was going to be a shot clock. So he's probably, you know, planned it out mentally that he's not going to take too much time making decisions.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, you know. Flawless execution, or good execution, let's say that, will overcome a little bit of a mental error usually, you know, because you're not going to make too dumb of a decision at this level.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit of preference involved, right, at times. So, but Shaw's really going to have to take it away from this young man. Don't foresee any mistakes.
Knowing Aloysius, I think he's not going to do too many. He's not going to make too many silly errors from here on.
Right. And besides this table breaking tough, what Shark is getting at is it's not going to be a big mistake. You may get a bad roll or a little bit of a, you know, we can all miss a ball, but it's not going to be a silly decision that costs him any games.
Yeah.
Well, those 2 losses you talked about, he's making up for them in spades right now. So,
Yeah, Shaw has to, you know, just take his chances and see what happens from here.
and you can tell the 2 difference. I know the mask is on, but you can see it in the eyes between the 2 guys. One of them, the adrenaline's really going with Aloysius. He's trying to actually probably, you know, keep himself in check a little bit, but feeling good. And you can see Shaw kind of probably, you know, looking for a friendly face a little bit maybe.
Yeah. His eyes look intense.
Yeah, but he's just wondering what maybe has happened here to, you know, 9-1 or 8-1, excuse me.
I think he's made some uncharacteristic errors.
Yeah, and that's what we saw from Carlo, even though it was an impressive comeback to come back and get that lead, but I think Oy outplayed him a little bit and deserved the win. Now, Shaw taking a page out of your countryman's book, going to the side rail there on the break, and he's made 2.
Yeah.
But it's kind of been a shot similar to this in degree of difficulty that he's missed a couple times. That 8 ball,
Right.
that's a glaring one, right? One that is missable, but you just don't expect this guy to miss him.
Might have been just a bit of complacency.
Could be. Well, like you said, though, these guys have played each other, and ooh, you hit that a little high.
Ooh.
So these guys have played each other, and all the players know Aloysius, you know, to an extent at least, and they know what he's capable of, what he's becoming, and you know, and a guy that's looking to win the tournaments now, not just high finishes.
Yeah, that's right. Played a nice one cushion shot.
I was wondering if he may hit the 9 there.
Made his job a little easier.
I think you and Aloysius both neither play with an extension, I don't think, right?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We only use it when we
Look at
need
Shaw
to.
here taking the
Wow.
one hand. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. CueSports International Expo. Aloysius YAPP of Singapore about to break with a huge lead in this race to 10 at 8-2. Playing Scotland's own Jason Shaw. Shark Syed from Singapore here with us in the booth. Shark, your boy looking good.
Yes, he is. Full mix a ball in his break.
Yeah, nothing yet. Maybe the jump cue here. I'm not sure Jason's in the mood to be rolling out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, right? you know, when you see your opponent playing pretty flawless, makes the rollout even tougher. I mean, you know, like, oh, if I roll out here, he's probably still gonna snooker me.
You start overthinking on what you're gonna do.
Right.
He's going straight to his jump cue.
Yeah, and he's got a path. If he makes it, the cue ball should come fairly clear. May have a little heat on it, maybe a little hot coming. Oh, what a shot. Watch out, 8-ball. Watch out, 8-ball. Oh, my. And really has made the kick really tough because it got just right glued to the 8.
Yeah. And the 4-5 is blocking the 1 rail escape.
Yeah, he can only go 2 rails kind of jacked up at the 8. Kind of out of this bottom left corner, 2 rails at it. I don't really see much else.
Attention, please.
Yeah, I think that might be his best option.
Yeah, watch out, all ball fouls, and he needs a little bit of right English, maybe a hair, anyways. He got too much on it.
Oh, he just shot that ball real quick. Didn't see him take any practice strokes or anything.
No. Normally with the bridge, you want to get a little feel for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the 6 is funny, of course. Still got a lot of work on the 4 as well. I don't know, the 4 passes the 8, so he's okay. Thought at first glance the 4 didn't pass the 8, but he should be fine. That actually opens it up easier to get on the backside of the 6, because you shoot the 4, you just kind of bleed the cue ball off here in space to the right.
Right.
And then you have a nice angle on the 5 in the side to get to the back of the 6. Yeah.
And move it out.
That's good there. Doesn't want to get straight on the 4. Wants a little angle to take him away from the 5 a little bit.
Just needs to manage his speed.
Yeah, and that's really been the most impressive part. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's done a lot well. He may get a little straightish here. You may have to play a bump on the 5 now, Shark.
Hopefully he can bump it so that he still leaves himself an angle to go up. Well, he might be able to go on the short side to play the 6 in the bottom right corner.
Yeah, and even if he had to go into him, they're not sitting bad to do that.
Right.
You know, like you feel like you're going to get kind of screwed. Oh, he got on the wrong side. So now it'll probably be a safety behind the 9. Don't be afraid to play safe here.
Yeah.
Come 3 rails off the 5. You know, and knock the 6 by the 9 and just weld him to the back of the 9 there.
I think that's the right shot. It's simple, and you know, it puts pressure on Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, this is to get on the hill here. This is huge. Oh, he's coming around for the combo, it looks like. He's going to end up short, but I think it's going to pay him benefits, actually. Well, I don't know. He can't really get him on the 9 now, can he?
Well, I think he can play a safety, though.
Yeah.
He might be able to just tap it softly.
Yeah, he's just going to leave a bit more of a kick. You know, if he gets kind of straight up and down on the 6, he makes it to where Jason's got to come down table with the cue ball on the kick. So I think you still got to do it. Oh, he's going to play the combo. Wow. So he likes it. Now the cue ball and the 9, or cue ball and the 6 are going to have a lot of speed. They could kiss each other, to be honest with you, right? Maybe a diamond out right about where the head string's at after this cue ball comes off the end rail. Is this 9 going to get in the way?
I'm not sure what he was trying to.
Did he miss cue? Not sure.
Or is he trying to use the 9 as a blocker?
Right, yeah. Maybe.
So a good containing shot by Jason. Not much he could do there.
No, he hit it perfect.
Yeah.
Aloysius is going to grab the jump cue, even though I don't think that's the route he's going. Oh, he is. Okay. He's going to play the bank.
I think it's just to save time, knowing that there's a shot clock.
Absolutely, but the 2-rail kick behind this ball isn't too bad. We've seen a few of these made this week. Sky Woodward comes to mind.
Yeah.
Jump long rail bank.
There's a possibility he might get saved behind the 7. Oh,
Wow. How do you draw it there? I mean,
It's real
jaw it,
close.
excuse me.
I think he was playing a two-way shot.
Oh, for sure.
That was a good effort.
Absolutely. Does he come around the 9 here, or does he just come one row at it?
I think 1 rail should be fine. Oh, he's going 2.
Well, 2 gets you a little better angle to get back on the 9. So, and you don't have to worry about the 10 at all. I think on the slick table, though, I think the 1 rail you really need to develop being comfortable with that.
With the speed, yeah.
Yeah, because when you go 2 rails, you dig into the ball a little more and it can get away from you.
Yeah. I think he was coming into the 8 nicely. So 2 rail option is good.
All right. 2 games in a row for Jason. And obviously the first time in the mat for 2 games in a row. Ara Shaw right there, Jason's wife. And 2 beautiful children. My wife sat with her a few times during Jason's match this week and said she gets pretty nervous during his matches, so, which is understandable. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, I think it's funny how, you know, sometimes the spectators are more nervous than the players.
Right. I think they also sometimes get more, the camera bothers them sometimes, like at the Moscone and stuff. I've seen some fans get pretty crazy with the cameras, but where the players don't really, it doesn't really affect them too much.
I'd love to go to the Moscone Cup sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stayed in the US for a couple of years, but never been to one Moscone Cup. So I'd like to change that.
All right, shot a break here in game number 12. And the 1 in the side. The 2's going to open a little bit, it looks like. The 7's going to get in the way. Oh, he made the 10 as well. Just kind of watching that 1 ball. Now we're playing the Predator World 10 ball rules where the 10 doesn't count on the break. You got to bank this down and try and just come 1 rail behind the 7. Just draw the side rail and behind the 7 with the cue ball. Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a touch shot. And this is where you use the cut of the 2 to really feel how much cue ball movement you get. You know, if you cut it a certain amount to really make the cue ball move. Okay, he went behind it.
The 5.
Yeah. Beauty.
Great shot. I mean, Jason's been in this situation many times. He knows what to do, I think, to stay in the match.
Yeah, and Aloysius being a lefty, tough cueing, trying to get at this. Do you try and tie up the 7-6 here?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. The kick doesn't look easy in any way.
No, especially for a lefty. You know, if he's a righty, he can cue and maybe put some spin on it.
Yeah. He's going for that.
All right, pretty good. I don't think the combo's playable. It's real close, but now Jason didn't seem too bothered by that 6-7 congestion, but
Oh, might not be on there. Okay, still doable.
he's going to have to draw into an angle on the 5 if he wants to break open that 6-7. Oh, he got strained. I'm not sure where that's taking him.
I thought it was just going to stun out a little bit.
Yeah, or
and
even
then-
draw back a little bit, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And probably go 1 or 2 rails into the 7-6.
yeah, or even if the 6-7 is playable, you got to have angle to get on it, right? So he may play the 6 ball bank here if he got right. Oh, he's putting him behind the. He's shaving the 6 here. Going some 1, 2, 3, 4 rails, I think, anyways.
Yeah, I think it's trying to leave the 6 there. Cue ball 3 cushions, 4 cushions. Behind the 9.
It's got to go a little bit. Not sure he's going to get where he wanted. Now this is one of the tougher situations in the game. You know, you can't kick behind it. You know, he could kick like a rail first shot, not kick, but a rail first shot, where he maybe spins the 6 in, but if not, the 6 maybe hits and goes back over to the middle of the end rail and the cue ball comes down table.
Yeah.
Super tough still. Hard shot to pull the trigger on.
Yeah. I think the cue ball's gonna collide with the 7 on the way out.
If you get behind it, it should. Yeah, it should ricochet by it. You know, it shouldn't hit it unless you hit it real soft.
Yeah.
But if you hit it with a little speed, it should kind of bounce by it a little bit. Now, if you cut it real thin, trying to spin it in, you'll catch the 7 for sure. I think he's just going to flat cut this.
There's a possibility.
No, he's playing safe. He's trying to get that 6 to come outward more.
Oh.
That was a good effort, though. You know, if he gets by on the end rail, even if he lets him see the 6, it ain't easy.
Yeah. Looks like we could see more of the 6 than we thought.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that. Kind of squeezed that one home.
He's crawling back into the match slowly.
Yeah, I think he's going to need some help from Aloysius, though, or somewhere along the lines, whether it's dry breaks or... that speed's a little off as well. He's going to be a little more angle on the 8 and near the rail. Shouldn't be a problem.
I think Aloysius is breaking next.
Back, ladies and gentlemen. Good look at Aloysius YAPP of Singapore. Had 8-4 in breaking here in this quarterfinal of the Predator World 10 Ball. This is the CueSports International Expo. Jeremy Jones here with Shark Syed. And been 3 in a row now for Jason after trailing 8-1. All right. don't see anything just yet. The 3 ball's tracking though. Ooh, but the 2 got covered up, I think. So is it, maybe the 2's makeable, but I don't think so.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty difficult shot to get shape as well.
Yeah.
Touchy shot.
Well, I think if he could just level out on the 1, knowing he had shape on the 2, he'd really like it.
Yep.
But that doesn't appear like that's a possibility. I think I go at this. I shoot this and elevate, I think, and try and come 2 rails at the 2-5. I like the shot myself. I think he's just going to play safe here, putting him on the 6-7. Calls the 9 here. Now this I would hit with a rolling speed myself. I think you can get a lot of snookers here.
Yeah, many balls down there.
Right. There's a lot of balls to you know, we always talk about kicking into congestion, right? Well, you can kick softly right there, and you may be on the back of the 6-7 again here, right?
Yep. This time kicking on the other side.
Yeah,
To the other side.
I don't think he's going to get a kick. I think he's going to get squeezed on there, and that'll really bode well for, yeah, just like that. Now here he can hit before the side or after. Before is where I like.
2 rails.
Yeah. Oh, he missed it.
He just went down and kicked at it.
Yeah.
He's played quite a few shots that way this match.
Yeah, Lois is just going to have to make one really nice shot here on the 1 to open the 2. And it's funny. It's a little funny. I'm not sure how I might go to the bottom rail and up into the 5 that way. If he goes straight into the 5, well, he probably ends up with a cut that way. Yeah, but I think I like this right here with top English and going into the top of the 5. I think you get a good feel with a touch of inside English. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this gives him the best chance of having a good shot on the 2 ball.
Right. And he can brush the 2 and the 5. I don't think he'll do that, but you know, bump speed here, maybe bump it 5-6 inches away, the 5. Oh, he went into the 2 that way, looking for a friendly kiss. I think he was concerned about getting snookered, you know?
Yeah. That's why he played it at that speed.
Mm-hmm.
If he was pretty sure of knocking the 5 on the correct side, he would have played a, you know, slower speed.
Right. Now you may want to cut this and go the end rail and then up. That way he doesn't pocket this 2 in the side, even though he's called it. Yeah, just like that. The cue ball got turned loose a little bit. Pretty good with the object ball, but you know as well as I do, he wanted him behind the 5 ball.
Yeah.
And this table's fast. That cue ball just crept out to leak out there.
I mean, you know, whenever they play safeties, it's just about 1 or 2 revolutions, which can make the difference.
Oh yeah, half a revolution sometimes.
Yeah.
Surprised he's not looking between the 6-9 here. I mean, I know he's thinking, how can I get safe with that? And that doesn't really offer much of a safety, but
I think he's looking at that now.
To make it in the side here or the corner. I think the side.
I feel like there's a good chance he could get saved.
Oh. Well, he's on 2 fouls. Never know when that may matter. Okay, you want to be a little off angle on the 4-10. You don't want to be dead straight. That way you can move the cue ball a little bit when that 4 ball moves after making the 10.
Rather than just letting the 4 come out and the cue ball staying there.
Right. Either way is fine if you're a hair behind it, if you're a hair above it. Now, he's gotten close enough he might be able to hold it, but he has gotten kind of straight on it. He may pop it and let the 4 come up anyways. And, you know, the right side of the table's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Oh, he could hold it. Nice shot.
Do you think he's going to play 5 cushions on the 5? 3 cushions on the 5 to the 6? or a combination.
I don't know if he can get to that 3 cushions.
Yeah.
I think he may play. Yeah, where he's at on the 4 tells me he's got to play above the 5 here. He may come back behind the 6-7, and if he falls comfortable for the 6 in the corner or the side, that's fine. If not, he just plays the safety. Now he is on 2 fouls.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if Aloysius recognizes it. I did not hear John Lehman announce it. So I do believe, even though we're on the main table, the TV table,
He could even play these 3 rails.
Yeah.
Going to the short side.
It's a pretty thick hit on the 5, though. He's got to let the stroke go pretty good.
Yeah. He's going for that.
Yeah. Oh, it looks good to me. This pace looks pretty nice. Like, well, maybe not.
Underhit it just a tad.
Yeah. And the problem with that is the 7 doesn't have a ton of pockets either down here on the bottom part of the table. So Aloysius not backing off. But what I was getting at, I think it's up to him to tell his opponent he's on 2, even though. Wow, what a shot. And cue ball. Now the bigger pocket here is the upper left. Even though he's a little behind it, and the guys, you know, that's the more unnatural way to shoot the ball when you're behind it. But pocket tells you got to shoot to that corner. You can miss it a little bit and still go in, even though he had dead center. The kid's putting on a show.
He's managed the cue ball pretty well this match.
Yeah, well, I commented at the beginning of this match to George that, ooh, okay. His fundamental leads towards a good cue ball. You know, I mean, he's not ever really overhitting the ball too much. You know, so he doesn't have a lot of bad kisses off of other balls, and the cue ball going with a lot of speed. So it leans towards like having a great cue ball control. Now the funny thing that I've seen from him that I didn't see before is on certain shots he has a bit of a bigger pause in the back versus other shots, it seems like. I don't know if that's a conscious thing or not, but
Yeah, I think that's a conscious thing. We've spoken about stuff like this, and he feels that he can pocket certain balls better when he pauses on those shots.
Jason Shaw now out of his chair. He is trailing 9-4. So he's got to take care of a lot of business and then hope that Aloysius gives him a little bit of air here and there to make this comeback.
He's made a ball on the break.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
he has a shot.
Yeah, good start, right?
Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of fans back home in Singapore rooting for Aloysius at this moment.
Well, I think the guy's going to make fans in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Great guy, great game. And I can tell he's been prepared. He didn't come here not prepared. Really has believed in everything he's been doing so far in this semifinal.
He was training really hard during the COVID pandemic period because we couldn't travel anywhere.
Well, pandemic was a weird thing, you know. It could easily get you a little down and depressed in this being a professional pool player, but I think for the most part the guys took advantage of what they could.
Yeah.
Draw between the 7/8 here. Or he caught a little piece of the 7. Okay, that was definitely intended. Maybe 8. I'm not so sure it passes the 10, so probably needs a little angle here on the 7. It's close. So he may have to drop down below the 8 or stun across. And that kind of stuff there, you know, it shouldn't make a difference here, but long term, you know, you make a little bit of an extra mistake, you know, after 100 games of doing something like that, you know, so.
It adds up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he could easily underrun on the 8 and then be on the wrong side to get to the 9. But if he had more angle, he could just stun across.
Right. And what happens is, just like when you start to get out of line, it may not affect you on that next ball, but 2 or 3, 4 balls later, you just keep getting more out of line. You know, sometimes you're fortunate enough to get back in line, but not always.
Yeah.
So now Shaw, who needs, like I said, some help from YAPP.
Looked like a pretty effortless break and run. He managed it well.
Yeah, and we've talked about it, George and I. This table really is. When the guys are breaking well, it seems like they played pretty flawless. You know, when the break, it's such an emotional part of the game. You know, I was talking about it earlier. You break the balls, and your eyes are going 18 different places to see if you've made a ball, if the cue ball didn't get kissed in, what kind of shot you got.
Yeah.
And then you got to catch your breath and try to run out afterwards. So.
Right. I think the wooden rack, you know, adds an extra dimension of. Sometimes it's difficult, you know, it's an added dimension of difficulty. Sometimes the break, you know, is just as good as Magic Rack.
Right.
But definitely not as consistent as a Magic Rack.
Yeah, and it's a love-hate relationship, I think, between the players in that rule. I think they all appreciate the tougher layouts and the differences in the layouts. But when they get in the match and they break dry a few times, you know, then they say, well, maybe I don't like this so much. But it is a good thing, and not saying it's got to be that way all the time, but that variety in our sport is good.
Yeah, I agree. I would say I'm guilty of saying that.
Both ways, right? All right, Aloysius sticking to that side rail. I think he only broke once, maybe twice from the center before he changed early in the match. Smart move, in my opinion. Now, he seems like he's really trying to just play the 1 mainly. You know, if something else goes in, that's great. And there's that 1 ball down. Well, he's going to get a chance to win this match and get to the quarterfinal. Shark, yeah. And when a guy like this, and he's playing so well, starts in line with a nice shot on the 2, you figure him to stay in line.
Yep.
Now, he can use the 7 to hold the cue ball here. He doesn't need to feel like, oh, I got to move the ball to get better on the 3. If he needs a little angle on the 3, the 7's there to hold the cue ball. The 5's over the opposite side. Really, he should get out from here.
Yeah. Do you see any problems in this rack?
No, and he's going to use that 7. Jason can even see it, even though he still believes, and he may get a shot, but it may not be the lefty of Eagle Eye going on to the semis, but young Aloysius YAPP.
Seven balls away.
Yes. Really in dead perfect line here. We'll just go forward maybe 2-3 inches here when he rolls the 5 in. That way he has a natural angle to go towards the 7 a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he touches the rail with the cue ball here. Just kind of draws towards the 7.
Yeah, he doesn't need to.
Yeah. And the thing is, you don't want to be dead straight here.
Right.
You know, you want a little angle. The 9's very accessible, so.
It's good to keep your bridge hand on the table.
Right? Well, one thing I like about Aloysius, and I preach it to people, he doesn't have that super long bridge. I think that's always a good thing. The long bridge, I think, at times can create a lot of problems for players.
Yeah.
And now he's fine. May contact the 8 a little bit. I mean the 10, excuse me, but I think with a smooth stroke he probably gets by it.
Yeah. Looks like the bump is inevitable to me.
Yeah, I'm looking at the table and it looks like to me he may get by it with the straight high ball. Well, he's drawn, so he's going into the top of it.
10. Yeah.
Watch out, 10 ball.
Oh, you gotta slow down.
No, I don't. But yeah, he's all right. Was he afraid if he shot it that he would? I thought if he caught the 10, he would still come one rail right towards the 9 with a high ball, but maybe, you know, these guys are at the table, so they always see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, he probably has a better perception of the exact angle.
Oh yeah, now that's going to be a little warm coming to this end rail, a little hot. So he's going to still have to make a shot to get to the semis.
Right, just gotta manage himself well. One good
Now,
stroke.
I've seen Aloysius draw this ball before. That way, you know, that way you're putting the stroke you want on the ball instead of the rolling it, which I like. I like the draw here.
Better to hit it firm.
Yeah.
All right.
And great playing, Aloysius YAPP. Great tournament, Jason Shaw. We'll be back at 11 a.m. Pacific for the semis.
Awesome. This is